Inside a tight renovation site, a worker drives a mini loader into a wall to remove it. The bucket catches, and the machine becomes unstable. A mini loader bucket should be treated as a material handling tool, not a demolition ram for elevated fixed structures. Behind a busy pub counter, a worker walks while focused on his phone. He steps into an open cellar hatch outside his line of sight. Any floor hatch or lower-level access point that is left open should immediately be protected with a rigid high-visibility barricade or a dedicated spotter. Never navigate an active workspace while focused on a mobile device. Your situational awareness is your first defense against lower-level opening hazards. At a roadside work zone, a boom truck lifts a mini excavator while a worker stands below. The rigging loses alignment, and the load shifts out of position. The safe position around a hoisted load is always completely outside its suspended path. Standing beneath lifted machinery means relying entirely on the consistent performance of lifting straps, turning a simple mechanical issue into an immediate high-contact risk situation with little room to react safely. Always establish a strict, barricaded exclusion zone around any lifting operation before the load leaves the ground. Never rely on a rigging setup remaining stable throughout the lift. Stay completely clear of the load zone until the equipment is safely set down and secured. Inside a convenience store, a shopkeeper stands beside a fully loaded display fridge. The entire unit begins tipping forward over the counter. Tall, fully loaded commercial appliances belong on a secure anchoring system when placed in a retail environment. Minor vibrations, uneven flooring, or shifting internal inventory can quickly reduce the stability of these massive units, resulting in a rapid tip-over event with little time for anyone standing in the immediate area to move clear. Always secure heavy display refrigerators and freestanding coolers to a structural wall or floor using heavy-duty anti-tip brackets. On a factory floor, a worker reaches into an active industrial press. The machine reactivates, bringing his hand closer to the moving area. Machine guards and full energy isolation are essential anytime a worker enters the point of operation on powered equipment. Attempting to clear a jam or make a quick adjustment on a live machine turns a momentary shortcut into an immediate high machine contact risk the second the system re-engages. Always execute strict lockout, tagout procedures to completely isolate power before entering a machine's internal moving area. Never trust a temporarily paused machine. If the power is still connected, the equipment can reactivate or cycle again without notice. Deep inside a well, two workers stand on an unsupported ledge while laying bricks. The working surface loses support beneath them. Work inside a trench, shaft, or well depends on engineered support systems rather than the apparent stability of earth or narrow ledges. The structural integrity of unreinforced soil is unpredictable, and working on an unstable base inside a confined space turns an unexpected loss of support into a major confinement hazard. Always use engineered shoring, shielding, or sloping techniques before entering any excavation or deep well. Never rely on the apparent stability of dirt or loose masonry. Always wear a secured safety harness tied off to a secure anchor point above ground. On a roadside, a worker climbs a narrow plank with a heavy load on his head. He loses balance beside passing traffic. A narrow, unsecured wooden board beside live traffic is not a safe loading ramp under any circumstances. Balancing a heavy, overhead load on an unstable, narrow surface compromises your center of gravity, turning a minor misstep into a significant fall and traffic side exposure hazard. Always use wide, secured, and slip-resistant commercial loading ramps when transferring heavy freight. Never compromise your balance for a quick shortcut. One wrong step on a makeshift bridge can quickly expose you to nearby traffic risk. In a repair yard, a worker strikes a seized hydraulic part with a sledgehammer. The pressurized component releases stored pressure under load. Pressurized components require a full depressurization process before any disassembly or force is applied. Applying concussive shock to an active pressure vessel compromises its structural integrity, quickly transforming trapped mechanical energy into an uncontrolled pressure release event that can create widespread flying material exposure across the workspace. In a yard, a worker cuts a large tree limb while standing on a ladder. The branch shifts and disrupts his balance. Elevated tree work calls for a stable aerial platform or a certified climbing system, not an unanchored extension ladder. The release of tension causes unpredictable rebound and major weight shifts, quickly turning a standard cut into a high-movement instability hazard that can easily destabilize a worker on elevated footing. Always utilize a stable aerial lift platform or certified arborist climbing harnesses when tackling elevated tree work. Assess the tension and directional fall path of heavy limbs beforehand, as an unsecured ladder offers almost no defense against the reactive forces of shifting branch movement. In an outdoor staging area, a forklift carries a heavy slab on an extended boom. The load shifts, and the machine becomes overloaded at the front. Forklift lifting limits change the moment a boom, jib, or similar attachment is added to the machine. Using an extended boom pushes the center of gravity far beyond the wheelbase, instantly reducing rear stability and turning the entire machine into a severely reduced stability lifting condition. Always recalculate your machine's safe lifting capacity when adding any boom, jib, or lifting attachment. Never extend a heavy load away from the mast. Keep it low and tight to the machine to maintain full control and balance. In a busy yard, two forklifts move toward each other with blocked forward views. Neither operator has a clear visual of the other's path. Clear sight lines are a basic operating requirement whenever a forklift moves through an active yard. Forcing a heavy industrial vehicle forward with an obstructed line of sight creates a serious moving blind spot, increasing the likelihood of unsafe contact with pedestrians, structures, and other equipment. Always drive in reverse when transporting a load that blocks your forward vision, keeping your eyes fixed strictly on your path of travel. Enforce clear traffic management protocols and utilize trained spotters when navigating congested yards with oversized materials. In a fabrication yard, a worker stands near suspended steel pipes as a crane takes up slack. An overhead hoist component lowers farther than expected. The tensioning phase of a lift should always be treated as an overhead exclusion period for everyone on the ground. A lifting system malfunction within the assembly can quickly displace heavy steel components from the overhead system, transforming the immediate footprint of the crane into a serious overhead contact hazard. Always step far back and establish a clear safety perimeter before signaling an operator to apply tension to the load. Never stand directly beneath a hoist block or boom assembly during the initial lift. On stage, a singer rises through the floor on a mechanical lift during a live entrance. As the platform reaches stage level, a support issue causes it to drop suddenly. Never stand on a mechanical stage lift unless its fail-safe locks and braking systems have been fully verified. Without a reliable backup restraint, a lift can suddenly drop if the primary system loses support. Production crews must inspect and test every stage lift before use, including emergency locks, secondary restraints, and stop systems. Performers should step clear as soon as the platform reaches stage level to reduce exposure around the lift opening.